Okay, everyone, welcome. This is Kerry Morgan, and I am the host of the Epic Holistic Empire Summit. And today we have Ciara, and she is a amazing nutritionist for celebrities. She also is an author of a popular book, Body Rock TV, and I would love for you, Ciara, to introduce yourself a little bit more and just tell the audience exactly what new things you have going on and a little bit more about yourself today.
Thank you so much for that lovely greeting, Kerry. So I am really a nutritionist who has been at this for over a decade now. And I really work with powerhouse women. That could be celebrities, entrepreneurs. I work on Bay Street in Toronto, so think the Wall Street of Canada. And I really help women to prioritize themselves so that they can be the best version of themselves and go out in the world and be completely unstoppable. So I have a lot of things going on right now. Actually, my upcoming very popular 4-week Feel Fabulous Detox starts September 6th. And as well, I'm currently developing a program for entrepreneurs that is really based on creating that balance. And, so many of us are so involved in our work and can eat, sleep, and, everything, our businesses. But what happens is when we put ourselves on the back burner, we can actually burn out. So my adrenal program is going to be all about that. So definitely stay tuned for that.
That sounds amazing. That absolutely sounds amazing. I'm so looking forward to just learning more about you.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do right now is just go into a little bit more detail. So let's talk about exactly, and sorry, we have to apologize. We did have a lot of technical difficulty this morning, but we're going to work this out, right? So that's why you see 2 of me and 1 of her over there. But this is a coffee chat, like a coffee shop chat where you're just hanging out and we're just getting to know more about you as a female entrepreneur. So explain what your unique gift is to the world, please, for everybody.
So my unique gift is really the ability to be completely authentic. I think that, for so many people, they think that nutrition is something that, they should just be able to do themselves. They should be able to, get it together. I know what to eat properly. I should be eating, fruits and vegetables or whatever. And the truth is that it's really complicated and it's very unique to the individual. And so my unique gift is really that I have had so much experience myself as a mom, as a single mom, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Even I've had, retail stores, 2 weight loss clinics that employed 10 to 12 girls at a time. And so I've had all of these experiences and I know exactly what it's like to be pulled in a million different directions, still have to take care of myself and still be a great mom. So on top of that, I also came from the corporate world. So I worked in law and, I used to have an assistant from 9 to 5 and 5 to midnight and would be working on a lot of big transactions. So I totally understand my clients, overwhelm and how to get over that. So many women end up, leaving their field, whether it be in the corporate business or, giving up on their dreams for entrepreneurship because they feel overwhelmed, like there's too much going on. They can't possibly have it all. And so I'm really here to be, as authentic as possible and share those ups and downs. And, I really believe that, I might sometimes overshare almost, but I think that that's kind of why people connect to me because I can sit there and go, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm consistent and, you can do this too.
Oh, that is so powerful because being a woman is one of those things that we are just mothers, right? So we're kind of like it's in our DNA to just give, and we forget to place that energy back, and also realize that the more we sustain our energy through nutrition, we definitely can have more ability to achieve more on a mindset level, and also achieve more as a mother, as a parent, as a wife, right? Because we
Yeah.
are building up something deeper inside. So I love that. I totally love that. So I am, I'm a holistic health coach. So I'm always about, taking care of yourself. And I've been doing that for 20 years. And I always
Wow.
thought that this was normal for people, right? I mean, it was normal for me. So when I would talk and everyone look at you like you're crazy. And I'm like, well, you don't do this. So I just, I guess when you're in your own space, you just think everyone knows these things, right? But they don't. So this is
Yeah.
so refreshing that you have, been able to help so many women. So how long have you been in your business, and how has your past aligned with your current business right now?
So, I mean, I have been a nutritionist for over a decade now. So, I've literally spent thousands of hours with hundreds of women, and it has really transformed over the years. I mean, the internet has really changed the way that we do business and allowed us to, step into alignment and do more, right? When I first started, nutrition wasn't cool. Like 10 years ago, it wasn't like the thing. Whereas now, it's really kind of trendy, right? And people are starting to understand how important it is to give your body the right raw materials in order for it to work properly. It only makes sense. But my business really started off as, when I started, I didn't really know how to market myself. And that was, in 2006. It was kind of before there was a lot of things going on Facebook or other social media. And what I ended up doing is, going all in, because that's kind of what I like to do, both feet in. And I made a huge investment and bought 2 franchises. So, that was massive, and that taught me a lot, and is definitely, even though I don't do that anymore, is a huge part of my success now, because, when you are responsible for, 12 people and 2 stores and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that it takes to start a business like that, it makes, being an online entrepreneur that much easier, because I'm not afraid to invest in myself, and I'm not afraid to take risks. I've been there, I've done that. And that's why, my business has really, I've been able to do a lot in a short period of time. Even I think it's a short period of time, because God, I'll be doing this forever. Simply because I learned how to market and how to sell myself and how to take risks and always invest in myself. So that is just so key. I had those businesses for a few years, and then I ended up selling the last one. I sold one of them a year before the final one. And when I sold it, I found out I was pregnant with my second daughter that very week. And so that really changed things for me. And I stepped away and really focused on her. But what I did was apply, the same things that I help my clients with to that period of time, because I was a single mom. I already had a daughter. Here I was, going into this, like having another daughter whose father wasn't involved at the time. And it was, hugely stressful. So, I always tell people, I don't care what's going on in your life. If you are going to get through it and like with shining colors, then you better make yourself a priority. I don't care if you're a mom, a business owner, a wife, what's going on. You need to take care of yourself first and foremost. Otherwise, the shit's going to hit the fan. Period.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, that is absolutely the truth. And I've been there and done that. Me and my husband ran a MMA business for 5 years. So, in the beginning, you're just doing everything. And I always thought that I always knew how to take care of myself. And then you just get this space where you forget to take care of yourself, right? You put all your energy into everything else. So it's so important to definitely start from that space of, consistently waking up to putting the energy into yourself and taking care of yourself on a higher level so you can reach that success that you want in your life.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
what is one key ingredient that your clients have seen the best results in the fastest time? Like maybe they've been like, oh my God, that totally shifted me. That one thing that you told me. Well, I know that there's probably a certain, things that you use or other things that you say, but just give us one example of a situation where you have you have told somebody something and they really took the commitment and they really worked through it, but they got really fast results on it.
I think that the first and foremost, and God knows, I'm sure that you're going to hear this come up many times during the summit, is mindset. Mindset is so important, right? It is the pinnacle of everything. What you believe is what is going to show up in your life, period, stop, period. That's it. So, I think that as mothers, as women, as entrepreneurs, whatever we're doing, if we have the mindset that, we can't take care of ourselves because, we're really busy, or we have the mindset, for example, that, we don't believe in our success. We don't believe, for my clients, if they're coming to me and maybe they want to lose weight, maybe they need to recover from burnout and, really get their hormones balanced, whatever it is, they have to believe first and foremost that they can do that and start to visualize that. So, the journaling practice, the mindset, and really the number one thing that always shifts people is that you have to take full responsibility for everything, the good, the bad, the horrible in your life. Because if you don't take responsibility, you have zero control of your life or how to change anything.
Yes. Thank you for that, because so many women, I think they just feel like almost guilty when they take care of themselves.
Yes.
Or they almost feel like they're not worth it. They just feel like, okay, I'm here to make sure everyone else is taken care of, right?
Yeah.
They put that out there, and I know we've all been there maybe at some point, but when you start to get into that process of committing to the mindset work and the journaling and the ability to believe in yourself, when you think you're slipping down, you can get back so much faster, right? And so many more ideas come to you, but so you feel like that you're unstoppable, right? And I know you love that word, right? That's what you're unstoppable.
Yeah. I totally love that. And that's, when you're saying that, it's absolutely it, is that no matter what's going on in your life, if you just have that morning routine, if you have the journaling practice, and for me, exercise is another big part of that. I feel very inspired and completely unstoppable when I get up and it's 6 a.m. and I've already banged out a workout, It's more for my mind than it is for my body. But it's so absolutely key that, you prioritize yourself, and that, self-care is not a dirty word. Right? Like, it's almost, especially for moms, like when it comes to moms, it's like, if you're not we get a bad deal, because really it's almost like this war that, the more you sacrifice yourself, the better mom you are, which is horrible mindset to have, because who are you, what kind of role model are you? And, what are you actually teaching your children if you're letting yourself fall apart, if you're not that strong, capable woman who can be an amazing example for them, right? Everything is about leading by example in life.
Yes, that is so true. I'm thinking, who put that into our history, right? And ingrained it to women after women. But you could see, like, if you read any books or watch anything, they all pertain that. Like the woman just like cooking and which is fine. I cook all the time because I love to know what's in my food. Don't get me wrong. I love the process, but it does not mean that that's where you have to stay and you cannot pursue your life of happiness, right?
Exactly. Or that you can't make it easy and do both. Like, I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. My eldest is 13. My youngest is 5. And, I still run this business and take care of them. But, first and foremost, like I take care of myself first. And it's just absolutely key. So, some people think, well, I'm too busy, and by the time I get home and I get my kids from daycare or whatever, I don't have time to cook, as if you have to be a 1950s housewife and have this like big elaborate meal. But you don't need to do that, right? Like, it can be so basic. And that's what I teach my clients. Like, although I do give recipes and things like that, I really teach them the core about how to balance their hormones by putting together their meals very simply and easily with the right amounts of proteins, fats, and carbs, and really just focusing on whole foods. Like, keep it simple. I look in my fridge and I'm like, okay, so, I have, what kind of vegetables do I have? And, in the wintertime, it might be so simple. Like, I have a chicken breast that I marinate. I stick it in the oven with some broccoli and cauliflower and roast it all. And that's it. Basic, I don't get fancy with things. And I think that when people think about healthy eating and cooking, it's a drain on them and overwhelms them because they think about all the different ingredients I have to have or the recipes that I have to look up, this massive time leech. And it doesn't have to be that. It can be basic, totally basic.
And I love how you said that, because that is so true. So many people see these shows and they like totally think, oh my God, they psych themselves out before they even start, right? They put themselves through this huge process, but it's the same process as if you would go to a restaurant, wait for 35, 45 minutes to sit down and eat, then it takes you 20 minutes to take an order, right? You can have that meal done at your house.
Absolutely.
And everyone could be going on with their time, right? So,
yes.
I mean, I think people, and it's good to go out to eat also, but I'm just saying, like, they think that they're setting themselves in their head on failure before they even start. So the next question is, how do you master your 24 hours as a female entrepreneur? What's the key alignments that you use in your business? Can you please let the audience know?
Oh, so in my business, going back to the mindset and the journaling is super key. So starting my day with, looking, downloading what is in my head. So often we have these amazing, ideas and creativity and thought, and we just have to get into the process of allowing that to come through. So if you have that daily process and you write everything down, that's super key. When I worked with my coach, when I was, really started investing in myself, even just in the last 6 months, it made such a massive difference to my business. And Kat Laterzo, who, is also a part of this summit, she was amazing and really helped me to harness that time in the morning to think about my key messaging and to really start manifesting what I wanted to have happen in the day. So instead of just creating a to-do list that often overwhelms us, I would start by figuring out how I wanted to feel based on the things that I was going to accomplish. And so I would write them out as if they had already happened. And so you get that high and that, oh my God, I can do this, and this is what's going to happen. And that has been so absolutely key. I also think that boundary setting is really important. Although I do work a lot, I also try to, when I'm with my kids, I try to put the phone away. I try to be completely unplugged and really present with them, so that that time that I do have with them is super impactful and I'm connecting with them. Then when they go to bed, then I'm back online doing work. So, I could work all the time. I love it. But I think that when I do, get out of the house, have meetings, or I'm with my kids, I think the boundary setting is just so super key. So that's, setting my intentions, knowing how I want to feel with what I'm accomplishing throughout the day, and then setting good boundaries is my thing. Totally. Sorry, I can't hear you. There you go.
I got
Thanks.
it now. Okay. Being completely, I was just commenting on what you were saying, being
Yeah.
completely present in the moment, right? So wherever space you're in, you're just completely focused in on that moment, so your kids are getting 110%, your business is getting 110%. You're not
Exactly.
spreading your energy all over and hoping that the right thing's going to show up, because you're completely working on each thing in that moment. So that's very powerful and enlightening for the audience to just hear that concept and understand that it's your choice, right? It's the choice and the decisions that you make. So,
and the one thing I would add to that is when people get overwhelmed, and with business, they can often get overwhelmed. And the absolute key is to realize that overwhelm comes from not taking action. So if you're ever overwhelmed, you got to break it down to what you can actually do in the day and make sure that you just get those things done, focus on those, because as soon as you start taking action, the overwhelm disappears. It's just gone.
Yeah, that's such a great thing, just to completely set up and ask the right questions. What action steps should I take? And then fully take action. And I love Kat. She's definitely changed my life, even though I met her for like a brief, experience doing some courses that we were in together. And it was just, whoa, hello. I mean, she really gets your fire going, right?
100%.
So how do you balance mindfulness and awareness in your daily routine? So when shit hits the fan and in your day, and how do you get back to the present?
I think it's something that you practice daily, and I'll be the first to admit that it can be easy to slip forward or slip backwards. So when we start looking at what we could have, should have, would have, and not being present, then we might start to feel kind of really more kind of sad. And then when we're, really thinking about the future, we're feeling that overwhelm. So for me, bringing it back is often to do with, my breath. And when I'm really feeling like, wow, I have a lot on my plate, is asking myself in the moment, what's going on right now that is unsafe or is like, so overwhelming. So actually bringing it back when we're fearful, when we're worried about something that's going to happen or not going to happen, whether it's about success, what somebody's going to think of us, how a program is going to do, is actually bringing it back for me and asking myself, okay, so you're feeling a little bit anxious right now, but right now, what's going on? What do I have to be fearful or anxious about? So it's really, a practice for me that is continual. And I do that often by breathing. So, or also taking a walk. So my biggest things is to change my environment or to breathe deeply into my stomach. Because when you do that, when you stop taking the shallow breaths and you start taking the really deep breaths, that's when you can kick in your parasympathetic nervous system. And so what that means is that's your rest and digest nervous system, which just downgrades your entire nervous system. So you just feel more relaxed. It's going to bring your cortisol levels down and help you to focus again instead of feeling all over the place.
Cool. I do love that. And so many people forget to breathe, right?
Yeah.
And it's so simple, but we're so always looking for the outside thing to save us, right? Instead of realizing it's the breath and that prana and just working it through your system and, figuring out what breath you need at the right time to just center you and get you back focused. So could you please break down your current day in digestible steps? Like a power day. Maybe you get up at 5 a.m., you set an intention, you do your sales for 2 hours. Just explain some details on, a full day for a female entrepreneur with kids and what that would look like. So other people can say, oh my God, I can so do this. Like just that little bit of inspiration would definitely help a lot of women. So we would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So my day starts at 5:30. typically, sometimes 5, especially if I have like a, call that I want to make for sometimes, a mentor or something that lives in a different time zone. But typically it's 5:30. And I always start my day with one of 2 things, depending on how I'm feeling at that time. And that's either the journaling and my intention setting, or it's the workout. So sometimes if I get up, and sometimes when I wake, I actually already, the wheels are going. My body knows I'm going to get up at that point in time, and the wheels are going, and I need to start writing right away. Other times I wake up and I'm kind of like, okay, and maybe I'm feeling a little bit tired. So to get myself in that right headspace, I use exercise. So I love going outside, exercising, running. I do a lot of sprints. I don't just run forever. I'll do like 5 kilometers of sprinting. And so really, I keep my workouts. It could be, if I have a lot going on in the day, I'm still going to make that time for the workout. That's not negotiable. I need to be on top of my game, and therefore that's part of me taking care of myself. So it could be, anywhere from 15 minutes. I might do like a super powerful HIIT workout. As I've been a loyal Body Rock TV follower since 2008, and I've had the great opportunity to work with them myself and created the Catching Fire ebook that was extremely popular. And so I might do a 15-minute workout, or I might do an hour workout, but it's never more than that. So, and it always depends on what I have going on and what I feel like I need that day. So I'm always doing that. And then, my journaling is non-negotiable, 15 minutes at least. Sometimes it's longer, right? If I get into a really great headspace, it's longer. But basically, I have 2 hours. So I have between 5:30 and 7:30 to work out, figure out what my intentions are for the day, my manifestations, get my headspace right. And another thing that I have found so helpful is, multitasking like an entrepreneur does, but using Audible and listening to motivational books while I'm running or exercising has been like a total game changer for me. It's like, if I need to go up another level, that's the ticket. So I basically have that 2 hours, and that 2 hours is mine, right? I don't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning, but I have my kids getting up at 7:30. And therefore after that, it's, getting them up, getting them breakfast, packing lunches, getting them out the door, listening to my 5-year-old talk about how she doesn't want to wear that pair of shoes or this pair of shoes or that pair of shoes. It's the same old. So sometimes it's, quite an act in perseverance on my place and on my part, and patience. And then I am getting her out the door for about 8:30. 8:30 till 9 o'clock. And then after that, my client calls. I usually do client calls Wednesdays, Thursday, Fridays. Mondays and Tuesdays are kind of my content creation days. And if I have media meetings or, other kind of networking to do, that's what I do. So it basically, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's like every half an hour, there's at least 8 to 10 calls a day. And literally in between calls, I have, fresh, fruits, vegetables, small snacks, sometimes like a little chia pudding or something to keep my energy up during the day. I don't always get an opportunity to book a full half hour to an hour for lunch. If I can, then I certainly do. But so on those days that I don't have a lot of break in between clients, I can always look forward at my day and know what are the challenges that are going to come up. And therefore I plan for that I plan for that accordingly. So if, for example, I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to make a smoothie and have something to pick me up with lots of, superfoods, some hemp, some, vegan protein powder and kale and cilantro and ginger and all sorts of delicious things, so that I can, have my lunch and still make it through my day, because it's not an option to skip lunch. It's not an option to not fuel myself and have like low blood sugar and not be focused when I'm talking to my clients. So that's basically what happens. And then my calls usually end by 4:00 in the afternoon. And that's when I do my follow-ups. And then I get ready, prep whatever I need to in the kitchen, pick up my kids, make dinner, and then it's completely offline until 8:00. And then my kids are in bed. I'm very strict about bedtime, very like huge proponent of sleep and routine. And then that's it. And then I have a couple hours that I'll do some work for myself. I will be the first to admit that I do not watch TV. I do not like there's nothing that I would rather be doing most of the time than working on my business or being inspired by, somebody's live stream or something of that nature. So I'd much rather do that. That's fun for me and fills me up rather than watch TV or something. So really the evenings that, I might take a break from that, it's always going to be social, friends, really showing up and being present with people who, again, are also in a great place themselves. I don't have time for, woe is me from anybody. Yeah. So that's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
Love your day. That was so important for people just to hear, the audience to hear, because I could hear your passion and I can hear you coming from a heart-centered place, right, as a leader, and that you speak like a leader, like in a very impressive entrepreneur. But a lot of people, I think, definitely need to be able to adjust and understand that they have the boundaries. And I love the bedtime. Like my son's 16, but he has to go to bed at like 10:30. You know what I mean? It's just like, unless you have homework or you're at a basketball. But it's like, and we've been doing that his whole life. So it's the process of just saying that this is, this was what makes me happy, but this is how I work, right? This is what works for me. And a lot of people need to find how they can maximize their 24 hours and monetize, because 24 hours is a gift. If you wake up every day knowing your 24 hours is a gift, you have this mindset of like, what can I do today to just, really step into my power, right? And really own my space and really, put my energy into what I love. And I love that you do that, because I'm not a TV watcher either. I love like podcasts and just, listening to stuff that just energizes me as a person. So I think a lot of people need to understand that when they say they don't have enough time, well, where are you wasting your time, right?
Oh yeah. For sure. People have like time, sucks everywhere. I mean, now with social media and the internet, it's even worse. But even, back in like 1998, when I was in one of the top tier law firms, so often I would see these lawyers who would always talk about not having enough time and being stuck at the office all the time, but they're taking long lunches and they're like chatting in people's office and they're, chatting to their mom, and they're doing all of this stuff because they have the mindset that they're never going to leave the office anyway, so they may as well just live and do their thing at the office instead of having more boundaries, getting in there, getting stuff done, and then feeling like, okay, I've got my work done because I put my nose down and I did it, and now I can actually have a life. Now I can actually do things that fill me up and come in the next day and be focused. And that's like so key, is that, even in that world, and I do deal with a lot of clients in the corporate world, we're losing some amazing women in that, who could be phenomenal, but are feeling too overwhelmed by being, staying at, like, how do they stay at the top of their game and have a relationship and be moms and do all of these things? And it's always going to be taking care of yourself, focus, boundaries, and that's what's going to keep you at the top of your game. Otherwise, you can only push the candle at both ends for so long without treating your body right, giving it the right materials and sleep and everything else so that you can be unstoppable. That's the key.
Yes, I love it. Definitely love it. So what vision do you create Do you see yourself creating daily for an ultimate performance in your lifespan, existence, or a legacy for worldwide expansion with you and your company that you're building right now?
Oh, that's such an awesome question. For me, I have, I always admit, and again, try to be as authentic as possible. And I think that one of the big things for me that I've come up against from a resistance perspective, because we all face some resistance, is really writing a book and doing something that, more speaking engagements, more travel, things that, again, in my mindset and my belief, that I felt that I couldn't do because I had kids and I was a single mom. So that's something that I'm, really working on right now. I have meetings with literary agents, and I've been, speaking to a lot of, in Canada, there's, some speaking agencies and stuff like that that are really high end. So that's really what I want to do, is reach more women on a higher level. And my focus is really, empowered by food. So everything that we do in life, our health, our, longevity, and just being, our dreams come true, is about being empowered by food. That's my thing. And to really, let people know that, for me, so often people will be like, oh, well, it's easy for you because, you're thin, or you're pretty, or you're successful, or you're all of this stuff. And I think that they think that those who are able to work out, take care of themselves, and be successful and do all, have it all, that nothing crappy happens in our life.
Right.
It's like, we're just like these, like, whatever, it's, it's only you can do it. But that's not true, right? It's because lots of really tough things have happened in my life, from, relationships, some very personal stuff, to, even I've talked about that, I was sexually assaulted last summer, and then I have a trial coming up, and even when I was going through that, like, I sent a message to my, to my list and my following to say, hey, you know what? When life throws something huge at you, that is not the time to give up on yourself. That is the time to up level. That is the time to treat yourself better. That is the time that, when life, has you on your knees, that you have to put more of yourself out there, and you have to do more and take care of yourself even more. And so my vision for, my empire is really helping women realize that anybody can be, fit and healthy and successful and freaking happy. You can do that. Anybody can do it.
Yeah. Oh, that is so wonderful that you shared your story with everyone. And they used to say that to me, oh, Kerry, it's easy for you. And I'm like, I do the work. You know what I mean? Like, you think I'm not doing the work. Like, I've been doing this work for 20 years consistently because I love my clothes, right? I don't want to go grocery shopping. I love what I buy. Like, why would I want to go buy a whole new wardrobe and feel bad? Like, I love my clothes, right? So I may put a physical or a materialistic thing around me staying in shape, but it's still a mental thing, because I do the work because that is what pushes me. It's not, I don't have the mindset, oh, there's a wedding come up, let me lose weight, and that's how people think. Oh, there's a vacation, well, I want to lose weight to look good on my vacation and gain the weight back. But, and it's the space that people haven't created for themselves to understand that they are worth that step of completely and fully committing to who they are as a person. So let's go on to the next question is, define in your eyes, which I know this is a broad question, but what does spiritual alignment look like for you?
Spiritual alignment. That's a really interesting question. I come from a Irish Catholic background. And, spirituality, I think when I was growing up, I didn't really understand what that was, but for me now, I've practiced Buddhism, and sometimes I do that, chanting and meditation. But I'll tell you, my spirit and alignment is all about my intuition and about how I feel every day. It's really, and it's 100% listening to myself. How do I feel, and responding accordingly. We all know when we get out of alignment because things don't feel good. And, there's been many times in my life where I don't necessarily listen to my own intuition, which is my spiritual guide. There's been lots of times that I haven't, but every single time it was right. So for me is always, coming back to what are my core values, and based on my core values, my body gives me feedback. Am I in alignment or am I not? And if something doesn't feel good, and sometimes even with work, if I'm resisting something, it's usually because I shouldn't be doing that work. I'm putting my energy where I shouldn't, and I need to listen to that. So my spirituality is about how I feel, and that directs everything.
Yes, I love that question because so many people answer it differently, but it's true. Like, it has to mean something for you. You have to know what that spirituality and alignment means to you. But together, it's like your pendulum going back and forth, and you just knowing when you're just hit the right spot, right? Because you're in complete flow. So I know that you're all into technology and, expanding your business. So just explain how technology has helped you with your business in maybe the last year, or how you just figured out a little quirky type of thing that you like to do with technology. That would be great.
Well, I would say I'm pretty good at figuring things out for sure. But the thing that I definitely love is I love live stream, and there's definitely some times when, I have to kind of push myself to get into it. But I love live stream, and I'm really looking forward and have a lot of webinars coming up. That's something that I really want to start doing more of. I now have an assistant who's fantastic with technology as well. And so doing all of the little things that took me a really long time, which for entrepreneurs, that's the key, like always hiring somebody else to do what you're not the expert at, so that, you can stay in your area of brilliance and maximize your time. And the really neat little thing is about Facebook, and I'm sure everybody else knows this, but I don't, is that like a Facebook live stream, even if it's in a private group, you can't share it on Facebook outside of that group, but you can actually go into the URL and change the URL. I think it's you put in an M or something, and basically it allows you to download that live stream and then repurpose that content in other places. So that's my little tech thing that I love, and that allows me to be able to repurpose that. And also my assistant has started going through my video content and, taking out, whether it be a quote or even just transcribing it, and actually sending that video content out via newsletters, so that I'm not recreating the wheel all the time, that my content, I create one piece of content, and I prefer to talk more than anything, as talker. That one piece of content ends up being a whole week's worth of content for me.
Oh, I love it. I totally love it.
Yeah.
So we are getting down to the last question. And then at the end, I just want you to just leave us with a little golden nugget of something that you just feel like that will help a woman. But the last question is, how has alignment helped you with creating and sustaining abundance and wealth? Whether it is, you just knowing you're fully in alignment, and then you have just seen an overflow of situations from the mindset work, or, just explain one instant where you would think that alignment has helped you creating and sustaining abundance and wealth as a female entrepreneur. I'm like, get it out, get it out.
So I think for me, the really interesting thing is that, the more that I invest in myself, the more money I make. It's really, I started really doing that more so last December. So in 2015, like I'm always somebody who, I like nice things. I, hang out with people who are all, very intelligent, wildly successful. So my circles and my environment is constantly, something that's just fabulous all the time, right? I came from a small town, but I always knew that I wanted more and that I would do more. And so I moved to the big city, and it's been incredible what I'm exposed to, what my environment is. But what I've come to realize is that, sometimes you might feel a bit of fear investing in yourself, but as soon as, you put both feet in, that, the world comes to, like, the universe comes in to support you, and that always leads to more abundance for me. So, and it's kind of that little push, like it's like having especially for sole entrepreneurs, because it's like having a business partner. If you have a business partner, you want both of you to have equal skin in the game. And so if you want to have, like, be your own business partner, you have to invest in yourself, and then you have equal skin in the game. And once you've made that investment, it's like, holy shit, I better giddy up and, do what I say that I'm going to do. Right. So every time I put out money in my business, even if at the time I'm kind of like, oh my God, where is that going to come from? It appears. It freaking appears. And then it's like, it's like magic. It's so crazy. But, every single time that I do that I up level, whether it be technology, whether it be like, hiring, staff, whether, because I hire a lot of people on my team, whether it be, a new website, videographer, photographers, copywriting, an assistant, Facebook ads marketing, whatever it happens to be, it always up levels my business, and that regardless of the expense, I still end up making more money. It's crazy.
I totally love that, because some people are so afraid. They just want to stay in the box, and especially when you're an entrepreneur, you just want to do it all, right? You want to have your hands in everything. And so to be able to delegate and understand the process of investing in yourself so that you can do what you love, and that what you're doing what you love attracts what you really want in life, right? Not trying to do all this DIY or do it yourself type of things, right? All the time. And everyone's like, oh, let me do that. Oh, let me do that. But then that's placing your energy everywhere, right? You're not fully in your power like you should be. So, that was so juicy. So please we're going to definitely put all your information, when we send out about how to reach out to you. But if you have something going on, or if you have an offer for the summit, you can share that now. And also just leave everybody with an example of just something that they can digest. Maybe it's just like a simple little tip that you love to give. Maybe it was a girlfriend that you tell when you're out and you're just like, hey, use this. This is a great tip. I like to do that. So if you can just leave the audience with your golden nugget, so to say, and tell us how that we can touch base with you and your offer, if you have one that you would like to give, or the offer that you would like to use today.
Absolutely. So I would say the offer and the program that I have coming up that is, starting next Tuesday actually, is my 4-week Feel Fabulous program. And it's the core of what I teach all of my clients. So, even my VIP clients, that is what I'm doing with them. So the only difference with this program is that it's a group program. It's an amazing group of women. We already have over 70 women in that group, all gung-ho to start on September 6th. So I'm very excited about that. And it's really all about whole foods, hormonal balance, and really how to start taking care of yourself. I do a lot of work around mindset. And, going back, I would say one of the most important things to realize is that there's a lot of talk these days about loving ourselves. Well, you have to love yourself, or, you have to love your body the way it is. And I think that people get really confused about what exactly that means, right? You should, sorry, that kind of, anyway, you should definitely give yourself permission to love yourself today, but that doesn't mean that, you don't want to change, that you don't want to create a better version of yourself. And so a lot of people say to me in my coaching, say, well, what does that mean? I'm not very happy with myself right now. So I don't really love myself. And how do I create self-love? It seems like this crazy out there woo-woo concept, right? And a lot of people just roll their eyes. So what I teach people is that really self-love is about you trusting yourself, and it's about you making promises to yourself that you actually keep, so that you trust yourself. When you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start that, that is what you do because you love and trust yourself. And each day that you say, I'm going to do this because you know it's going to make you feel good, then you add to that. And every time you do something that is in your best interest, that's loving towards yourself, fueling your body with the right raw materials to be freaking unstoppable, that is building self-love. It's the little things every day that you do that shows yourself that you love and value yourself. And that's how we build self-love. And that's, what I teach my clients to do. And that their barometer for, what you eat, what don't you eat, what you do in a day, everything is about how you feel. If we can be mindful enough to step back and ask ourselves how we're going to feel about a decision, that's the key. And always choosing things that are deserving of you, that make you feel good because you deserve it.
Yes. Woo! That was awesome. Just
Thank you.
because I am just, and I know this because I could feel this. I could feel your energy, but also the fact that is so true. That little tiny commitments that people neglect. I like to explain it like an inner conflict, right? If your thoughts are going one way and your actions are a total different, way, then you're really not truly committed to integrity within yourself. I like to teach people, integrity is not what you say to others, it's what you say to yourself. Yes. And when you find that space of I'm doing this and I'm, thinking of it and I'm doing it, not saying, oh, I hope I don't ever eat a donut, and then you walk by and you buy one. You know what I mean? So having that true integrity within really builds something that is just so magical. It's so hard to explain unless you experience it and emotionally. I am so super excited to have you, Ciara, on here with us today. Thank you for all the stress that we had to deal with. You would not even imagine.
Oh gosh. It was 45 minutes of technical difficulties.
And I'm I know that they said, because I was listening, they said the Mercury retrograde is actually starting today. And I was okay, I'm a very intuitive person. I was I got this, no matter what. And entrepreneurs do not give up. So we did not give up, did we?
No.
We made it work. I have my iPhone here. We're zooming through our iPhone. And then we have all these cameras up here. But I just want to say thank you for hanging in there. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thanks for the audience. We're going to make sure that we get this out to you, and we're going to have all of our information there so you can reach out to her, and hopefully she'll pop into the Facebook group once in a while and just, we'll have some talks with everyone. But if you want to leave anyone with any last little comment, you can feel free and say goodbye to everyone. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for, for having me here, for listening. I hope that you got a lot out of this. And for all the entrepreneurs out there who feel like they've sacrificed themselves to build their business this year, this is something that we can work on together. I want to see you go out in the world and be unstoppable. And you can't do that without taking care of yourself first. So you can definitely sign up for I have a 3-part video series, free video series on my website at ciarafoy.com. And it's my free mindset training, and that will 100% help you.
Great. Thank you so much. We're going to make sure that we have that link for you, that you can download that link after the video and have all of our information for you to go through. And remember that share this summit with your friends, because these are women that are spending their time, but they're mentoring towards you right now, and they're showing you how they get through their day, which is so, so powerful for so many people to understand that process. And I want to say thank you, everyone, for coming to the Epic Holistic Empire Summit, and we are staying tuned. We have another interview coming in at 3 o'clock, so make sure that you're here and listen to that. Thank you so much for your time, and have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Thanks so much.